Hi, hello again. This is the video that I'm creating for a reflective video that explores the way you've built and designed the prototype, and it needs to be at least five. It needs to be 5 minutes maximum. So I'm gonna talk my way through on how I've designed my toolkit. So let's begin with the main part of the toolkit, which is the weapon generation. So if I take a look at how I've made this, go over to items, equipment, and base weapon. This is how I've created it. The way it works is this base weapon is a child actor of base item. This base item is to do with the inventory system, so I'll go over that in a couple of minutes. But for now, I will just touch on the weapon generation system. The way that I'm doing this is by on begin play, I'm setting the rarity from the chosen rarity because that is a value that can be passed along. Let's say if you want this weapon to be dropped by an enemy, you can do that. You can pass on your own rarity to that pickup item. Then it's moving over to the custom event set barrel. These are setting each individual weapon parts, which obviously you can see not here, but as you can see, it sets the barrel. It takes a boolean to say yes, it's barrel 1, 2, or 3. For the grip, it does the same, and for the stock, it does the same. That will come into play later. Then it sets the name. So if you look at Borderlands and other games that have randomly generated weapons, they will normally have something called a prefix and the item name. For example, in this case, if you have the first barrel, it will be a 2-shot. If you have a barrel 2, it's clanky. If you have barrel 3, it's explodey. That will then set it as the set the weapon name. That will also set a separate value called weapon name as something else. So if I just take a look at, for example, one of the other an item that I've made inside, so AR1 MF1 common, the item name, the weapon name for this is Bazoomi. So depending on what barrel it gets, so for example that is barrel 3, so it would be called Explodey Bazoomi, Clanky Bazoomi, and 2-shot Bazoomi. That was actually perfect. Then it will move on to setting the second name, which is obviously getting both of them and setting it as an item name. So it appends them, combines them, and then set the damage. It goes off of rarity. So if it's common, it times the damage by 1. So base damage is 20. So if it's a common weapon, it will always be 20 damage. If it's a uncommon, it's 1.25. Rare 1.5. Epic 1.75. And then explosive damage. So only the third barrel can have explosive damage on it. And same again, it's 1, 1.25, 1.5, or 1.75. Then we set the rate of fire. So if it's fully auto, you get the base rate of fire times it by 2. So in this case, the rate of fire works off of a timer. So that timer is 0.06. And the way that we get the actual rate of fire is by timesing it by 100. So I believe that is 60 rounds at RPM. And then we obviously times it by 2. Then it becomes 0.12, so 1,200. And then for that we have 0.06, so we times it by 8. So then we set the grip accuracy fire cone. So this is where the engine will actually try and set the accuracy points. So on my forum, I've went over different weapon parts and how they affect the weapons themselves. Where's the sheet? Let me find the sheet. Sorry. So here, for example, the base weapon has an accuracy of 80. Because it's a hip fire cone, we halve it, and that gives us 40. Grip 1 would then take it up to 90%, so that'll add points to it. In this case, we have to actually take it away, because the total stat that you get of accuracy, you double it, and that's your accuracy cone. It's very weird. But yeah, it goes through each part, sees what the part is, and then adds and decreases them from a certain value, and gets that accuracy value from a weapon part's stat struct. So if you were to take this toolkit, you could change grip 1's accuracy, grip 2's accuracy, grip 3's accuracy. You could change the value of them. And then lastly, the weapon gets a added bonus depending on the rarity. And then obviously it does it for what type of weapon it is. Sadly, that's our 5 minutes up. But I'm not finished, that's the problem. So yeah, it basically does that in the base weapon. You then create a child blueprint of that, named after the weapon that you want it to be. So in this case, let's take assault rifle. In here, you would set up how the weapon fires. So for example, if you wanted an assault rifle that spawns projectiles, you have that. You have a projectile-based blueprint event graph or function that you could slap in here. So for example, the explosive is the only the manufacturer 3 is the only manufacturer that shoots projectiles. And then you would create a child blueprint of this assault rifle, and then you would create multiple, one for each rarity, and name them. And then you would have 4 weapons, all with different rarities and behaviors. So if I take a look at this, so this is manufacturer 1, manufacturer 2, and manufacturer 3. So if I pick up one of each, so manufacturer 1 is fully automatic, manufacturer 2 is semi-automatic, and manufacturer 3 shoots a projectile. But yeah, that's how the project is set up, designed to work. It's very, very repeatable. Thank you for watching. Sadly, our 5 minutes are up. Thank you.